Hello ladies and gents, Sasuke here, bringing to you another video for the English version of Naruto Online published by Oasis Games. We're going to be looking at the event announcements for the 22nd of the 8th, 2019. And we have 3 brand new ninja skill trials / breakthroughs. Iruka, Kisame, Hoshigaki, and Kakashi, Beheading Sword. 2 very interesting ones are the Kakashi Beheading Sword and Iruka. I actually didn't know that there was a skill trial version of Kisame Hoshigaki. I'm pretty sure that's not correct, because in truth, Kisame should only have breakthroughs, not skill trials. But I could be wrong. I mean, I haven't seen it for myself. If there is any, it will be very interesting to see. But I am pretty sure that the Kisame Hoshigaki one does not have skill trial versions, only skill breakthrough. Mainly his scaling goes up, I think, or yeah, it goes up, and he can have like 180% attack, like scaling or something. It's something ridiculous, but he only has one thing that scales with taijutsu, unfortunately. The combo is also freaking ridiculous. Another important thing is his shark bomb. It's basically like it becomes a full team one, if you imagine Water Maid's one. The thing is that like, I think that to really make Kisame even like a decently good ninja is that it should like drain chakra and interrupt the targeted unit. That way it becomes actually really good, but unfortunately, I don't make these skill trials and stuff. But the Iruka one is also very interesting because it is going to be our basically first ninja that scales other ninjas. What I mean is that Iruka's skill trials has a very his shield turns into a very special passive where he grants a shield and increases taijutsu and ninjutsu of Konoha ninjas in your team. I think it's up to 3. Every before the first action of every round. But the thing is, it only scales up to 5 times, which is 75%. So that is a pretty interesting buff because it's a overtime buff. So by round 5, it will reach its maximum 75%. The Kakashi Beheading Sword is also particularly interesting because he has a particularly good mystery. It reduces ninjutsu by 40% and I think resistance by 20%. I'm not 100% sure if that's correct, but I do remember that it does have a reducing factor to it. What will be interesting is that I haven't been able to verify whether or not that actually stacks, or if it is around, or if it has only a certain amount of duration. If it stacks, that's really good. If it doesn't really matter too much. It's still a prompt mystery, so you could probably override Kakazu's damage with it, only for 1 round since it is a 2-round cooldown. Otherwise, it just changes into you can just change it into Masked Man's Kamui, I believe, except that it still causes knockdown, but that's fair enough. Or it doesn't cause, or it actually just turns into Kamui, and it actually can be used in round 1 with 0 chakra. I think they should always keep the Kakashi Beheading Sword one and the Masked Man Kamui actually separate. But if it is the same, that's not too bad. It's still a pretty good mystery otherwise. A good thing also is that they did limit the scaling on this, but I'm not sure if it's scaling in total or scaling per round. I did think what I mean is that his standard attack actually also gets scaling, and it scales pretty hard and pretty fast. What I mean is that because he has another passive which gives him 2 standard attacks every round, and his standard attack gets a passive, I believe his standard attack gets the passive, where he increases his ninjutsu and attack by 15%, I think, at +2, which is like pretty awesome, I think. So Kakashi Beheading Sword becomes a pretty monstrous kind of DPS and anti-DPS kind of person. Again, he's on the really less tanky side, so he can be blitzed down pretty easy, and his staying power is really weak. But anyway, that's enough about the skill breaks and skill trials. Let's actually get into the other news. Our weekly strong ninjas are Itachi Uchiha, Edo Tensei, Minato Namikaze, Edo Tensei, Madara Uchiha, Great Ninja War, and Killer Bee 8 Tails Jinchuriki. With our limited treasure 1 still going on until the 28th, till the end of next week, Wednesday. Our nature training coming in. This will be replacing our 3v3. So the nature training, I believe, is something like Ninja Exam, but it's only the one lineup, and the one lineup gets progressively stronger as you try to do each level. And then the most important thing is the Tsunade Skill Breakthrough Instructor. This is so very important because this should be a permanent feature, and the best thing about the Tsunade Skill Break Instructor is that the Tsunade NPC gives you the option to create skill books. And it is very important that there is also another function in it, where another shop in it that actually allows you to purchase skill books. This is very important because this is one of the main features that is actually supposed to be in the game when the skill breakthroughs were coming through, because there needed to be an outlet for the books instead of just the books being just event based. Now, with Tsunade, which is a permanent feature, we will be able to get our books, but it also contains a free-to-play feature, so you can actually create books by gathering materials and trying to mix and match them. Not mix and match them, but like apparently you set aside which materials you want to try to combine to create a book, and like it's an RNG feature, which is like not unexpected. So yeah. The only thing it costs more stamina, so it's another stamina drain feature, so whether or not you actually do it at the cost of stamina, up to you, but I think it is pretty good to have the feature there in order to have a couple of more ways in order to get these skill books for some of the ninjas that don't have their skill trial versions, since sometimes getting the fragments are very difficult. One example is Hanzo, Salamander. I have finally bothered to get him 4-star, and I actually can't be bothered to keep spending moon scrolls into Hanzo in order to get more fragments in order to skill break him. It's extremely annoying that it had to work like that, but it's a slow grind. Anyway, on to the events of the weeks, what you're probably interested in. For the first event of the week is the Crazy Slot Machine. It goes from August 22nd to August 28th. During the event, each time you recharge 100 ingots in-game, you will get a spin for a chance of a neat prize, blah blah blah. There's no limit to how many spins can be spun daily. Spins obtained for this week's event need to use this week. Once this event ends, the spins you didn't use will be reset to 0 every time you spin it. Yep, blah blah blah. Okay, the rewards for the Crazy Slot Machine are: first prize is Naruto Ronin times 30. Second prize is Madara Uchiha 10 Tails Jinchuriki times 3. Third prize is Advanced Ninja Optional Pack number 3. Fourth prize is Steel Scroll times 1, level 4 Rainbow Magatama times 1, or a Cultivation Pill times 1. Fifth prize is level 3 Magatama Pack times 1, Mount Myoboku Training times 1. Charm Material Fragment times 5, Cultivation Scroll times 3, and an Advanced Refinery times 1. Or, not and. So you get one of those things. Sixth prize is Training Pot times 2, Unbound Rune Packet times 2, Charm Material Fragment times 1, Purification Protection Rune times 2, Treasury Tools Common Essence times 1. For the second event of the week, we have Anniversary Red Envelope. It goes from August 22nd to August 25th. I think that ends on the Sunday? I believe it's a Sunday. During the event, obtain a recharge rebate and a red envelope rebate for every recharge. Obtain a maximum of 20,000 coupons as recharge rebate and a maximum of 10,000 coupons to send through red envelope to other members from your group. So, in order to get the maximum amount of rebate, you need to recharge more than 100,000 ingots. Not more than. You will need to recharge 100,000 ingots in order to get the maximum recharge amount. So, of course, the recharge rebate is separate from the red envelope rebate. So everyone should know how this works. Each player can send a maximum of 100 red envelopes and can receive a maximum of 5,000 coupons from other members' red envelope. A red envelope which was already sent is valid for 2 hours, after which it will be unclaimable. The sent value will the value sent inside the red envelope will not be returned. Ingots recharged during the period of the event will be accumulated to both recharge rebate and red envelope rebate. The group channel is limited to 70 messages at once. If more than 70 messages are sent while the link to claim the red envelope is shown, the link to claim the red envelope will no longer be displayed and it will be lost for all group members. This is probably one of the better events to have as a side, well, like, again, we're kind of fallen into this perpetual state of at least 2 recharge rebates now in order to get anyone to recharge, since a lot of the times it's not really worth it to recharge at any stage anymore, since again everything's extremely expensive and it's a very huge investment to get anything nowadays. I've even stopped recharging. I don't remember the last time I recharged. But anyway, of course, you know how this works is that every time you recharge, you get a 20% into the recharge rebate and a 10% in the red envelope. The red envelope is sent to your groups, and so basically it's 20k to you and 10k to your friends. Continuing on, we have number 3, EN Naruto Flowers. It goes from August 26th to August 31st. Players must reach level 11 in order to participate. 31st. That's interesting. Or I'm miscounting. Yeah, it says 31st. It goes into next week. Does it? Hang on, let me just check the dates. It does. It goes on to the Saturday next week. Huh. Oh well. So, let's continue. Players must reach level 11 in order to participate. Sweeping plot or elite instances will reward you with fresh flowers. Recharging 50 ingots will reward you with one fresh flower. Gifting fresh flowers will reward players with coins. After the event has ended, you'll be rewarded according to the rankings, which is based on the amount of fresh flowers sent. Fresh flowers can only be sent until August 31st. 1 second before midnight, the final ranking will be displayed for 4 days. Players who want to be a part of the ranking needs to gift 350 flowers at least, which is a minimum of 17,500. Still pretty expensive, to say the least. And again, the fact that there is a minimum is actually kind of detrimental, because not detrimental, but kind of anti-consumerism, because the minimum in order to get into the ranking is set pretty high and impossible to get there impossible to get there through stamina. And I'm pretty sure because someone released a video, or because the rates for the flowers were actually high enough for that someone with tons of stamina could actually get in, is that they reduced the maximum. I think they actually they reduced the chance of getting flowers from plot or elite instances. Now, just with natural stamina, I think you only get something like 50. Used to be somewhere in the 80s, 70s, I remember that, but now it's as low as 50, and that's just with the natural stamina. I haven't actually tested out the actual limit of how many flowers I can get in a single day, but then again, I can't really be bothered because that would be wasting a lot of stamina. But anyway, our first prize is the Deluxe Ninja Optional Pack 3 × 1, Deluxe Deluxe Assist Pack × 1, second and third get a Deluxe Ninja Optional Pack × 1, Treasure Tools Ultimate Essence times 1. 4th to 6th get Treasure Tools Ultimate Essence times 1. Level 6 Magatama pack times 1. 7th to 10th get Purification Breakthrough Pill times 1. Treasure Tools Rare Essence times 2. Important notice, this event is not cross-server based. There will be first place for each server that meets requirements. Remark: the Deluxe Ninja Optional Pack 3, you can select one of the following items as rewards: Shisui Uchiha Kimono times 100, Itachi Uchiha Kimono times 100, Madara Uchiha Great Ninja War times 100, Kabuto Sage Mode times 100, or Naruto Ronin times 30. Okay, clearly this is Oasis marking up Naruto Ronin to be far more expensive than needed to be. In truth, Naruto Ronin was a ninja that was released in China for only 2,400 ingots, or ingots only. It wasn't released in coupons, just ingots. This made it so that it was first released as a pay-to-win thing. Obviously, Oasis knows that the community knows that Naruto Ronin is basically the most recent or the best evolution of what I refer to as the Blitz lineup. One of the Blitz lineup which was skipped over was the skill trial Chojuro. Chojuro should have came out before Naruto Ronin, but now that Naruto Ronin is here, Chojuro's skill breakthroughs or skill trials will be irrelevant in face of Naruto Ronin, which is again far stronger and far better. One of the main reasons is that it is not stumped by the limitations of only hitting the possibility of only hitting one person. Naruto Ronin has the advantage of hitting 4 people regardless of where they are. So positioning does matter against Chojuro, but positioning doesn't matter against Naruto. That being said, though, I have seen one video of where, because how Naruto Ronin, one of Naruto Ronin's passive works, Chojuro, Inbon's a double Chojuro lineup kicked its ass. But that was only because I believe the power difference was in the favor of the Chojuros, but that was only one video I saw, and I don't know where to find it, but that was only because of how Naruto Ronin's lineup actually works out. Again, I have a massive gripe with Oasis marking up ninjas just because they need more money. In retrospect, they should be marking the ninjas in line with what was previous, or with what's supposed to be standard. A lot of the newer ninjas should only be 20k in any of the recharge events and 20k in any of the spending events. In this case, it's a recharge event in which you need to have a minimum of 17,500. That's more than, again, $300. I think it's $300. I think the flowers just convert directly. Yeah, it just converts directly. Like, oh yeah, because like $1 is 50 ingots. So yeah, it's literally $150 for Naruto Ronin times 3, but that's only just to get in. It could be even higher. The fact that the deluxe optional pack 3 that times 1 is first prize, and it doesn't give you a full Naruto Ronin, already shows you that the price of Naruto Ronin needs at least 3 times the amount, plus some expenditure when you're facing off in these kinds of events. Again, Ino's Flower is one of the few events which is extremely terrible with how Oasis is handling this, and relies on whales from fighting each other for these. But in the end, a lot of times whales don't even do this event, mainly because it's not even worth it for them. And I agree this event is utter trash. You would only do this event if you just so happen to recharge during this time, but again, it is a trash level event for recharging in just any way, shape, or form. In China, for fact, recently, because of how terrible Flowers probably was, a lot of the first prize is a deluxe pack gives just straight up 380 fragments of a bunch of top tier ninjas, or like a bunch of event ninjas. I believe one of the packs is has both Edo Minato and Minato Hokage in it, plus one other one. I think it is Madara Uchiha Ten Tails Jinchuriki in it, and those three ninjas, the pack contains 380, so you can get 380 of those three ninjas, and so like you just straight up have a 5-star, and that is like pinnacle level of Flowers. And I'm pretty sure in order to make Flowers even worth it, now, because you still have the slow to entry, unless the recharge events are really good, and again, Crazy Slot Machine is not the best kind of event. I kind of hate it, mainly because I rarely see anyone get first prize, and even if second prize, third prize you probably get it probably half a dozen times if you recharge a lot. But again, whether or not you get them is purely up to RNG. I know I'm ranting a lot, but like I just wish everyone to understand that Naruto Ronin, don't pay for Naruto Ronin, because even though the main purpose of Naruto Ronin is to be the superior Blitz, it is not superior in it still falls flat on one of the few main counters, meaning that stuff that can straight up CC him from the beginning, such as Itachi Uchiha Edo Tensei, is a massive counter. Other counters can be Itachi Uchiha Kimono, depending again, like Itachi Uchiha Kimono is really tricky. But yeah, just be careful. Which is really funny because like even Masked Man would actually be really good against Naruto Ronin, because it's a 12% decrease plus with Kamui. So Naruto Ronin would be hella gimped at the beginning against a Masked Man. Everyone, I keep forgetting that Masked Man is actually really good against the current Jinchuriki meta, and actually just having him on the field can sometimes be really good. I think he needs skill trials. Masked Man definitely needs skill trials if he ever becomes relevant. But I mean, like, he's still pretty strong. He's still pretty relevant, I believe. Or can be. Yeah, again, the only weakness is pretty squishy. I mean, a lot of times he just get killed in round 1 anyway. Continuing on, we have number 4, Colorful Balloons. It goes from August 22nd to August 28th. Players must reach level 30 in order to participate. During the event, players can get points by popping up the balloons with shurikens. Complete daily missions to get a chance of obtaining 1 to 3 shurikens. You can obtain a maximum of 11 free shurikens daily. Every time you spend 10 ingots in game, you also get 1 shuriken. You can get 4 to 10 points randomly by popping balloons with your shurikens. Some balloons are hiding fireworks inside them. Pop a balloon which has fireworks inside them to obtain even more balloons. There will be a maximum of 10 balloons displayed to be popped up. After popping up every balloon available, new balloons will appear. Consume shuriken times 10 to use the Boundless Shuriken skill. It will pop up all the balloons available. The rewards have been updated. The rewards have always been updated. One of the important things is to always remember what has come before. There was I think it's still a problem, and I think it's a problem that Oasis can't fix, otherwise they're going to make the community mad, is the cost for charm material packs. One of the interesting things is that Colorful Balloons has always been around about 10 shurikens for about 60 points. And as you know, 10 shurikens is about 100 ingots. No, not about 100 ingots. It is 100 ingots. Let's just say it like that. The interesting thing is that charm material packs only cost 60 points in this event. I think they should literally just remove charm material effects from the colorful balloons, as in not to lose anything, because they did try to mark up the price before to 75, but again, the community got mad, and because it is a change. So they should just remove the charm material packs from colorful balloons in order to stem the losses there. I think it's an important fact to both the community and Oasis to stay consistent. If the consistency is lost, a lot of trust is also lost. So Oasis should not be, be so direct with their methods, especially with the changes to. I'm like super salty about the changes to Sakura food stacks because a lot of the events surrounding that. Well, the controversy that actually happened and the events surrounding that led up to the problem that the controversy is about. And the main thing is that before a certain point, at some undetermined point in the update, I think it was hidden that the RNG for the Sakura food stacks was increased to about a 3-point average per pack. It used to be 2-ish, 2.4, 2.2, but it rose up to 3 points. So like that's almost a 50% increase. But the price of the food stacks was still only 10. Notably, in China, it was 15 coupons, and I think this is an important note to remind ourselves that a lot of the updates are not checked by the development team at Oasis, because they don't read every single line that gets changed or every single thing that or everything that's already there. So they probably only read up about stuff that comes in and things that have not been updated. And as you probably know, is that a lot of the things updated in China are sometimes surrounding in the particular types of RNG and changes to ninja skills. Particularly ninja skills such as things that were changed here on the English side, which is Shizuka's one. Very disappointed in the fact that they had to nerf Shizuka in order to keep Kakuzu on the up and up. One of the main issues with that is that it's the same issue which I find with Naruto Sage mode having also the same issue, is that the second part of his Y+1 mystery requires the enemy team to have 30 or less chakra in order to have the upgraded version. Again, this is a total ass wipe. I think that a lot of times this relying on the status of the enemy is always terrible. That's why I hate damage scaling off of the enemy, or anything to deal with the enemy should be kind of thrown out. Status effects on the enemy are okay. I think that's a good way to play around with trying to with focusing, especially since Minato Namikaze works like that. I do believe though that there should be a point in time where Minato Namikaze Hokage version anyway should have a Y version which chucks out the tag line and just straight up just hits the entire lineup. So only one team. So only one lineup of 3 instead of hitting across team. So that way they can balance him sort of. But that's what I want. That's what I want changed anyway. Whew. I'm speaking a lot about stuff that I want Oasis to do, since for some reason I'm just super active right now, and I like this game because of how interesting it can be, but it just falls flat sometimes, mainly because of how it's handled and how it's monetized. I understand it needs to be monetized because it is mainly based on a free-to-play browser game which relies on people just paying money for stuff inside the game. But anyway, number 5, we have Color Banner Gift. It goes from August 22nd to August 28th. Players must reach level 30 in order to participate. During the event, purchases made in the souvenir store create contributions, increasing your group banner height. Accumulated spending of 100 ingots or coupons can increase the height by 0.01 meters. When a group banner height reaches a certain level, all members of a group can claim a reward. Each reward can only be claimed once per user. At the settlement, all members of the top 3 group banner heights will obtain extra rewards. Number 4. Ranking settlement time is at on the 28th of the 8th, 1 second before midnight. When the settlement time ends, you won't be able to participate in the event. The ranking rewards will be sent by mail. Reward claim deadline is the 29th of the 8th, 1 second before midnight. Please claim your rewards on time. The players who didn't have a group can purchase in the souvenir shop store, but the contribution height won't be retained. To avoid contribution height being reset to 0, we suggest you don't leave the group during the event. At the reward settlement, if there is no group, you won't get the reward. Number 6, lucky board. Goes from August 22nd to August 28th. Roll the dice to move on the lucky board according to the points you obtained in the dice. Players can get the corresponding rewards marked on the grid, complete plot or elite instances, or complete daily missions to get free dice. You can get a maximum of 2 free dice per day. The dice can also be bought directly in the shop. Get 5 points every time you move into the prompt grid, 10 points when you move into the function grid. After you have left the start grid for the first time, each time you pass the start grid, you will get a lucky ninja pack. Dice obtained for this week's event need to be spent this week. Once the event ends, the dice you didn't use will be reset to 0. The rewards have been updated. Another event which has slowly been changed over time is the pricing, or how the point conversion works for Lucky Board. A lot of ninjas nowadays heads into the 70s and even 90s, I believe. A particular ninja goes into the 90s. The points on the Lucky Board are terrible. In truth, Lucky Board is only worth it if the point conversion is lowered, around about 20% lower. Lucky Board always should be sitting with the point conversion sitting around about 10 dice rolls, which is 60 points, roughly around 60 points, since you get a free either land on a function grid or you get a free roll. I can't really say that this event is good anymore, mainly because everything inside Lucky Board is so expensive now. It's really terrible that it's so expensive, and it used to be a good event because it used to just give you a ton of just random stuff. They did update the board itself to have some better things on it, and they did replace the medium refined runes with the advanced ones, but a lot of the Lucky Board has to come down to the fact that the redeem shop is still not as good anymore. So again, it's another event that's fallen flat, so not very many people will do it anymore, and it's not even worth it without a rebate. So again, the event itself is pretty flat on its ass. If you want to get people to spend more, you have to give them more incentive to. So there's no incentive to do Lucky Board anymore, and I can't really recommend it, even though it still technically is a kind of like a triple reward function, mainly to do with the points, the items, and the extra lucky pack lucky ninja pack that you get from completing the board. All of that doesn't matter anymore because the event itself just does not compare to previous events or other saving graces. Number 7, Lucky Star Wheel. August 22nd to August 28th, players must reach level 30 in order to participate. Spin the wheel to obtain a random prize. All players have a free spin at the wheel every day. Extra spin can be attained by using coupons or ingots to spin the wheel. Daily limit of 500 times. Use the obtained lucky stars to redeem them for amazing rewards. Amazing is subjective, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Lucky Stars Wheel has been one of the better events at just staying consistent with the pricing model. I say better because, like, It can be a little shifty, mainly to do with the actual ninjas on the wheel. Very rarely you will ever see anyone get that anymore. As like people like do it less and less. I mean, or there's less and less people. I don't know. I don't know the whole story about that, but or just my experience anyway. I just find it very peculiar how terrible things can get. It's not the best event, but it's not the worst event either. It's probably, if it is what I remember, it is one of the events where you just get a shit ton of summon scrolls for no reason. Probably half the amount of seal scrolls, if that's still even relevant. Seal scrolls can be relevant, but a lot of players, especially players like me who did do a lot of events at times, have gotten all the ninjas in the treasures. Actually, that's a lie. I haven't gotten all the ninjas in the time-limited treasures. Still waiting on that Yukito Edo Tensei. I do actually want to try her out because how she probably works will be very good at countering a lot of buff lineups. But again, I can't seem to even get a hand on her. Oh, and Ukitaka. Ukitaka is kind of cool. I like his outfit and as a character. Anyway, number 8, Lucky Snatch. It goes from August 22nd to August 28th. Players must reach level 65 in order to participate. Use ingots or coupons to draw and have a try. Every draw is rewarded with a prize, because if it didn't, it would be really shit. Besides having a chance of drawing amazing rewards, amazing objective, fixed rewards will be also rewarded to the players who draw a given amount of times. Check below. So you draw 50 times, you get the Ninja's Assist Cultivation Pack times 1. Draw 100 times, you get the Madara Uchiha Great Ninja War times 10. Draw 200, Madara Uchiha times 15. 400, 20, 600, 35 for a total of 80 for about 30k. It is slightly less than 30k because I believe the times 10 is 490. I might be wrong. It might be 450, but I think it's 490 for 10 anyway. So it'll be like, if I did math correctly, it would be 24k. Actually, am I even doing that right? I think my math just went off like the charts just there. No, it would. Yeah, sorry, that was completely off. It would be like 29,400. Number 9, we have Sakura's Gift. It goes from August 22nd to August 28th. Players must reach level 40 in order to participate. And this is the event that I was talking about that's really got on my nerves. A very interesting fact is that one of my alt accounts got B Tentail Shinjuki from this for 10k, and that was pretty cheap, like really cheap for how good B Tentail Shinjuki was, even though he was outclassed at the time, mainly due to the fact that, again, B Tentail Shinjuki just doesn't have the raw stats, mainly has a lot of the scaling factors, and doesn't actually have very many ninjas that would support him, since one of the main ninjas for Jinchurikis is B himself. But again, you can't have 2 Bs on the field. Go figures. Anyway, players must reach level 40 in order to participate. Find the Sakura NPC in the West Konoha. Click on Sakura in the event interface to go find her. Sakura will give you 1 task to the players per day. Complete the given task and return Sakura to obtain rewards from her, which is the Sakura food stacks. Open the Sakura food stacks to get a random in backpack reward. It will give you a random rice onigiri, salmon onigiri, or panda onigiri as gifts. Players can also buy Sakura food stack in the purchase limit shop. Send gifts onigiris to Sakura in the event interface to increase your friendliness. Rice onigiri is 1 point, salmon onigiri is 3 points, and panda onigiri is 5 points. Players can also exchange friendliness for items / sneezes in the event. This event will be reset at 5 AM. Complete your old task first in order to receive a new task from Sakura. Reach friendliness over 1,000 to enter the rankings. The top 20 players will get extra rolls and rewards, blah blah blah. The reward will be sent to your mailbox after the event ends. The point of entry is still extremely high, not as high as the Flower one, but that has its drawbacks with the rewards and the ranking being pretty terrible. I believe the ranking is still 2 ultimate. It is still 2 ultimate treasure tools. Sorry, the treasure tools ultimate essence, and 1 purification pill. Oh, 1 purification breakthrough pill. And the fact that to get 1,000 points is something along the lines as 6,660 or something, like on average. I'd say it's about average, since it's like 3 points anyway. It's still pretty expensive. I mean, at the absolute worst, like the worst you can do in the possible imaginable world that you can get for friendliness for is 1 point. So the worst is 20k in order to get in the rankings, and I mean, like, you get free sacks anyway. So, but I mean, like, if you actually get all ones, I pity you. But again, that's statistically impossible. But I mean, the chance of it actually happening still exists. But if it does happen, I mean, I hope someone records that shit, because that shit's hilarious. Number 10, Cultivation Limited Rebate. It goes from August 22nd to August 28th. Players must reach level 54 in order to participate. Rewards can be claimed after reaching the required requirements. Cultivation times will not be counted after using cultivation scrolls. Only cultivation through coupons/ingots can be counted. Again, the fact that this has only cultivations through coupons/ingots can be counted, and that the fact that cultivation scrolls don't count for the rebate is utter trash, making this rebate practically worthless, because again, the 5 chakra nature training is really terrible as it is, mainly to do with power and scalability. Well, sorry, not... Again, scalability in anything is really trash, but the fact that its beginning is, again, really terrible anyway. I mean, once you pass like level 3, well, level 30, sorry, it's really too costly to get anywhere. So again, like this event and the corresponding strength and corresponding power thing is really terrible. So yeah, I just hate it. I just hate it. Number 11, it's a continuation of the recruitment feedback. It goes from August 15th, which is already counted, to August 28th. So we'll continue on. Players must reach level 50 in order to participate. Of course, you need to draw from the 5 Kage treasure, the Jinchuriki treasure 1, Jinchuriki treasure 2, Great Ninja War treasure, Time Limited treasure 1 to claim rewards. Free draws is not countable. The draws you pulled from last week will count this week. Number 12, Neurotoxin Trials. It goes from August 22nd to August 28th. Players must reach level 30 in order to participate. Neurotoxin Trials is divided into 3 tabs. You got the login gifts, which is every player can claim its respective rewards by logging into the game during the given date. You got the 22nd, gives you coin times 50,000, cultivation rune times 2,000, summoning scroll times 1. 23rd gives you bell times 2, gift times 3, treasure tools common essence times 1. Number 24. On the 24th, you get cave keys times 2, cultivation rune times 2,000, purification rune times 3. On the 25th, you get coin times 20,000, barbecue times 5, experimental vial times 2. On the 26th, you get rune scroll times 2, 2 chimes times 1, Iruka Taijutsu attack plus 1 skill book. On the 27th, you get purification rune times 5, cultivation rune times 2,000, and Kakashi beheading sword standard attack times plus 1 skill book. On the 28th, you get coin times 50,000, cave key times 2, and advanced experimental protection vial. These experimental protection vials are extremely important because they're extremely difficult to get and they're very expensive. Each one costs 75 coupons, which is an entire day. Well, I mean, like, basically half a day's work of coupons anyway. Then you have Neurotoxin Trials. So, this is a mini-game, so you click play. A hammer should appear, be visible in the interface. Move your hammer and pick a cylinder you wish to target. After the mini-game starts, the needle will move from left to right. When the needle is in the perfect area, be fast to click and perfect. One of the cylinders will start flying. The more cylinders you clear, the quicker the needle will move. The perfect area will start to shrink. You can claim a reward for each cylinder that you clear. It's game over if Naruto's head before you have cleared all cylinders. Every player has 3 daily attempts. Players can consume 10, 15, 20 ingots to have another 3 attempts to do this event. Wheel of Offering. Use coupons for ingots to spin the wheel. Click start and wait to see what rewards you will get. Every time you spin the wheel, different coupons/ingot quantities will be asked in order to continue spinning. Generally speaking, the more coupons/ingots you use, the higher your chance of getting better rewards. If you use 1,000 coupons/ingots to spin it, it will almost be impossible that you will get a level 2 Rainbow Macatama. For example, the first time you spin the wheel, you might be asked 100 coupons/ingots to spin it. The second time you spin the wheel, you will be asked to use 300 coupons/ingots in order to continue spinning it. The rewards for using 100 coupons/ingots are usually inferior to the rewards of using 3,000 coupons/ingots to spin the wheel a second time. The more times you spin the wheel, the better the rewards can be. At the same time, the more times you spin the wheel, the more the coupons/ingots you'll have to use in order to continue spinning it. The first spin will get you 1 reward. You cannot get the same reward a second time in the same day. Spins and coupons/ingots required to spin the wheel will be reset every day. However, the rewards are the same for all days of this event. Players can spin the wheel up to 8 times a day. What's really trash about the Wheel of Offerings is the fact that it kind of works against itself. So first of all, it says that it's almost impossible for you to get level 2 Rainbow Macatamas when you use 1,000 coupons/ingots to spin it. But the thing is that it's weighted. It still doesn't work because not still doesn't work. It has another function where it removes the reward that is there. So it would be almost impossible for you to get the it's almost impossible for you to have the event of spinning a wheel that has 1,000 coupons/ingots and have the level 2 Rainbow Macatamas still there and another item, and you getting that other item instead of the level 2 Rainbow Macatama. Because how the event works is that it removes a reward every time you spin it, but it costs more for every time you do spin it. I don't know how to explain this, but it's very counterintuitive, and it's a very shitty event. So I suggest you if you ever do this wheel, only do the first one, and the first one is very worth it because if you get anything else besides the level 2 Rainbow Macatamas, it's basically almost a 3 times money back guaranteed. Well, not guaranteed, but I mean it's almost a 3 times, at least a 3 times rebate if you get anything else besides the level 2 Rainbow Macatamas. Anyway, number 13, new packs are available in the Purchase Limited Shop interface. Have a look at the new packs. Don't miss a chance. I'm not sure what exactly the new packs would be. Probably just the Sakura Food Stacks will be in there. Probably some Steel Scrolls. I can't really think about anything else. Maybe I haven't actually checked if there's any Cultivation Limited rebate stuff related. But anyway, number 14, last but not least, Fresh Flowers, Shuriken, Dice, Lucky Stars, and Sakura Food Stacks, including rice onigiri, salmon onigiri, and pan onigiri, obtained for this week. Event need to be spent this week once the event ends. Fresh Flowers, Shuriken, Dice, Lucky Stars, Sakura Food Stacks, including rice onigiri, salmon onigiri, and pan onigiri, will be set to 0. Remember to use them on time. In time, on time, I believe it's the same. Not again. My opinion about this event week is pretty awful. Not very much going for it, mainly due to the fact that a lot of these events have just gone downhill. The only one that stayed relatively the same are Lucky Star Wheel and the Lucky Snatch. Again, Lucky Snatch is probably even worse now since the spread of the reward has been increased to draw 600, but I believe it's been at draw 600 for a long time. Actually no. I think there was an update to Lucky Snatch that made it so that nearly all of the stuff on the wheel was at least worth 50. One of the big gripes I had was that Lucky Snatch actually had the possibility of getting things that were worth less than 50. The fact that that happened made the event really shitty to me. To me anyway. I think that had to do with the fact there was like 2 seal fragments on it, and it was just like, one seal fragment is worth like 13 coupons as ingots. You would need at least 5, not even 5, about 4. 4 would barely be cutting it, but 5 is really what's necessary. No, 4 would have been enough. It would have been, because, like, again, I just loathe how I'm looking at a lot of these events and how terrible they are now, or, I mean, like, terrible that they once were. Again, I really wish Lucky Board had its points conversion had looked over. Colored banner gifts, I wish they had them all. Didn't have the pricing to be so. Actually, no, that's a lie. Color banner gifts has an awesome shop. I say awesome mainly to do with the fact that everything in there actually is at either the standard event prices or at a discounted price. So it is. So it's actually a really good event. Mainly due to the fact that the shop inside of it actually gives discounts straight off the bat, I can't believe it doesn't mark that up, as the souvenir shop is actually a shop that gives remarkable discounts. In fact, one of the things I was looking at was the seal scroll one, which gives you 40 seal scrolls, but it's only it only costs 3,750, when it should actually cost at minimum for that number of seal scroll 4,000. I still don't think it's good enough, but in terms of saving, in terms of buying seal scrolls, that's actually one of the better ones. The best one I think would have been the, what was it? Oh, I can't remember now. The fruit was kind of the best one. You grew the fruit, and I got cave key pack for $7.99 or something. $7.99, like for 800, and those packs cost 900 on average, like regularly. And then there was the fruit that only cost 100, and that gave you a seal scroll, a summoning scroll, and some coin, I believe. That was the best one. I thought that was awesome. I'm surprised. I'm not surprised that they don't do that anymore, because again, the limit is really low and it's very static. Not very many people did it. I don't think very many people. Not very many people. I don't think the event itself is good for Oasis, mainly due to the fact that how limited it is in the upper limits, because you can only purchase one. Same with Froggy. Naruto Froggy is again one of the events where it's one of the reliable events that people use in order to get the best bang for your buck. I'm not sure what else that I can talk for this week. I am extremely really active for some reason, and I don't know why. I think I'm just really happy that I'm seeing more skill, like a triple skill break coming in, and the fact that 2 of the ninjas are extremely helpful for people that are free to play. Aruka's easy to get. Because you get him through the skill fragment refinement system. He used to be in a lot of the beginner events. He used to be used all the time because he was one of the strongest buff ninjas at the time, or pretty much the only buff ninja at the beginning that anyone would ever use. mainly also due to the fact that Lightning Main was pretty much the only thing you would ever use in 2.0. Earth Main, once you pass level 30, I think was unstoppable, mainly because of how bullshit his shield scaling was. I don't think it was a bug. I think how the scaling worked is that his armor of steel just gave him straight 100% resistance, and that 100% resistant was innate, so his scaling off of any of his skills was based on plus 100%, so you would be facing shields which were 2 times stronger than they should have been. But that is long gone. That was 1.0 days. That is all for this week's event announcement, I think. Yeah. Or, have I said this? And the same remark as every other week, the deadline and new server event and the weekly event is set according to the player's local time, your computer time, not the server time. Daily missions is a daily recharge event. The daily recharge event in which you get 4-star garb, recharging for 5 days, are all refreshed at 5 server time, so don't miss out. And that is all for this week's event announcement. My name's Satsuki. Have a nice day.